When we look online and we're scrolling TikTok or we're scrolling Instagram, we're seeing all these people living their best life. Like, wow, these guys have a house, or, oh, look at these young kids who have these cars, they're influencers, they're making all this money. Or we look around at our friends, are like, wow, this person works at, a good job, tech or whatever it is, and they're making all of this money. They have the houses, they have this and that. And it's, we get a little sad. We get sad because of comparison. And what I can tell you is it would be so much better for you to not have money than to not go to heaven with money. Because I think a lot of us can't actually handle money. Money is very difficult, guys. I know money, I would say intimately, in the sense that I've had nothing, but I've also had a lot of money. And it's a huge struggle. Because especially in my world where, you're in business, you're actively competing against other people to, do more business, make more money, have more real estate, have more this and that. It is so hard not to get lost in mammon, which is money. I mean, in the Bible, mammon is money, wealth, or material possessions. And I think this has been a huge struggle for me because I'm thinking about, like, can we actually have money? Can we be a Christian and actually have money? And I think for most of us, I think the answer is no. I think money is really hard. I think money is, you can get lost in money so easily. It's so deceptive. You get into I don't know how many of you guys are already in this kind of place, but it's like you get into the keep up with the Joneses mindset and you start looking around. You're like, oh man, this person's doing this well. I'm getting, that competitive spirit comes in. Oh, this person's driving this car. Oh, I don't want to drive this car. I'm embarrassed to drive this car. And what it really is, it's pride. It's pride in your possessions. It's exactly what Jesus warned about. I was looking through, I just looked at hundreds of verses on money. There's a ton of verses on money, and all of it talks about avoiding material possessions, not hoarding for yourself things of this earth. So it's really funny. And then I try to figure out, it's like, okay, like, what are the pros to having money? Like, doesn't it say how many verses are there for like having money? And there aren't that many. I even looked on Dave Ramsey's website that, he's like the guy who endorses, money and savings and whatnot. So I was trying to figure out, like, okay, what does it say about money? And there's actually not a lot of verses about having money. It says in Proverbs 21:20, the wise have precious treasure and oils in their dwelling, while fools devour what they have, everything that they get. It talks about a good man leaving an inheritance to their children in Proverbs 13:22, 1 Timothy 5:8. Talking about providing for your family, because if you don't provide for your own household, you're worse than a non-believer. There's not that many beyond that. And so what is right? Like, can you actually have money? Am I in sin? Right now I have a lot of money. I have a lot of real estate. I have a nice house. And is this right? I have 2 nice cars paid in cash. Again, is this right? Is this something that I should just sell everything I have? And my conclusion after reading all of this, I think it's about your heart and where your heart is. And I'm not going to lie, my heart has struggled, especially when you start owning things. You want to, I'll tell you where it manifested the most was with my house, where it's like, so I live on a golf course, right? And I have a pretty massive yard before it hits the golf course. And it's like, I started working on this yard. I want to make it really nice. I want to cut, I have a huge pond in my yard, and I want to cut the bushes to show more of the pond. I want to cut these bushes. And I just kept thinking about it. And I just, I also just remodeled my house. And I spent a lot of money on this remodel. And I'm not going to lie, I felt convicted in this remodel. Like, why did I do this? What was the point of this? Why did I have to get these countertops that are, it's called Taj Mahal countertops, which is apparently supposed to be the nicest countertops out there right now. Why did I spend so much money? It was a lot of money. Why didn't I give this money to the poor? And so I'm guilty of this. I think it's so hard when you do have funds to get lost in it, when you do have material possessions to get lost in it. And it is honestly better for me to lose money, to not have money, to lose it all. Because it says in the Bible that, many times that, don't rely on wealth because it will fly away like a bird. It'll grow wings and fly away so easily. I think that's in Proverbs. And it's so true. I've seen it happen to people. And again, getting to the point here is it's better for me not to have money. It really is better for me to not have money and then go to heaven than for me to have all these possessions and have my God in mammon, in money. And so I think for a lot of us, and social media does not help. Let's be honest, guys. It's horrible for keeping us in check. But what it really is we have to keep our heart posture clean. It's really hard to do. Honestly, it's just better for you to not have money. It's better for you. I'm not saying like give it all or go broke. God may ask you to do that. But I am saying that, as long as you have a roof over your head, as long as you're, putting money into your 401k, and you don't have that much excess, you don't have a bunch of debt, I think you should be content with that. You should be content in those situations. Because, as someone with money, and I've seen a lot, I'm in Seattle, Washington, and there's a ton of people with money out here, guys. Most people are if you're making $100,000 here, you're like on the low end of earners. That's how it is out here. And I see how godless this place has become, how much people don't need God. And it's a bad place. I'm telling you guys, it's better for you guys to not have money. And social media, don't get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in all these young kids with Lamborghinis. Those things don't make you happy. None of it will make you happy. I've seen it. I've went to the parties. Trust me. I've went to all these rich parties, young, good-looking people, models walking around. It's not what you think it is. And a lot of these guys are empty because the only thing that will give you real satisfaction and joy is Jesus. It really is. You will get it in nothing else. So all I'm saying, guys, is if you do have money to actively work, I'm going to talk about five ways for you to actively work on not getting lost in mammon, not serving mammon and being obsessed with that idol. And for those of you guys who don't have money, I would say try to work on getting out of debt. Because you could also be obsessed with money because you don't have money, because you're just constantly worrying and anxious. And it says a borrower is slave to the lender. So don't get me wrong. You could also, if you are poor, if you don't have money, you can also be a slave to money. It's just in a different way. It's more anxiety. And for those of you guys who do, you have to, honestly, it's better for you to just give it all away than for you to be obsessed with it. And so for those of you guys who do have some money, practice, there's 5 things. Practice regular, generous giving. Daily confess and act on the truth that everything you own is God's, okay? Make major financial decisions prayerfully with wise counsel. It's not your money, okay? And so you need to take counsel. You need to pray about where to actually put the money when you're moving your money around. Even when I did my huge remodel, honestly, I prayed a ton before I did. I'm not saying it was a sin for me to remodel, but I would say I don't feel good about some of my choices and some of the materials that I didn't really need to get. Anyway, moving on. Building habits of contentment. You have to be contentment and grateful for any circumstances. You should be praying every day for what you have and being content and grateful, even though you think you don't have as much as your friends, okay? Guard your time and your priorities. So you got to be regularly in prayer, in worship, in fellowship with the Lord, because that will keep you grounded, because you really have such a huge temptation to make God your mammon, to make mammon your God, okay? So I'll stop here. I hope this helps somebody today, and I hope you guys have a great day.